the 29th of March. Um, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, and I'm going to stay whatever time I need to stay depending on how things go. So typically I tend to stay about 2 hours, but sometimes it be shorter or longer depending on the attendees, if there's anyone around asking me anything, um, and stretching the conversation. You know. So for those who don't know me, who are watching this on playback, I'm a therapist and coach, and I'm here to take questions and do my best to help people with any conversation related to mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, mindset, mindfulness, and even spirituality. And so anything to do with the mind and how we can enhance any aspect of our life by changing the way we look at it and how we feel about it is what I am about. For those who wonder, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and an RTT therapist. So those are my qualifications. I've been doing it for 8 years now, and yes, I do my best to spread a bit of karma payback on social media whenever I can. So I go twice live on TikTok and once on YouTube, every Saturday on YouTube. Okay, so let's get started. What I normally typically do also, for those who are new, is to read 3 posts that I've put out today on TikTok, and I comment on them to explain why I've written that. And hopefully, by the time I'm finished with that, that will have inspired maybe some of you to ask me some questions. Okay? And so today is the 29th of March. Okay. The first post that I put out today on TikTok goes like this. A spiritual awakening occurs when we realize that there are no villains in our life, only people who exist to show us what we must learn about ourselves. And so basically what I'm trying to say here is that every single person that exists in our life, if we can change the way that we see them, and instead of seeing them like bad people who hurt us, but instead see them as teachers, it's a sign that we're no longer being operating only from the perspective of the ego. We can now zoom out and realize that it's not just me against the whole world. It's me experiencing a human experience, and everything and everyone within my experience are there for a reason. They're there for me to learn about myself through my interactions, including my rejections or my hurt with them, from them. And so spiritual awakening, as far as I'm concerned, is about no longer seeing the world only from the position of the ego. Me. Why is everything happening to me? I'm the center of the world. I can't believe that people don't believe, think, or feel like I do. But if we can zoom out and realize we are all living in a little bubble, and everyone believes that they're the center of their own universe, then things start to become kinder and easier because now we don't take things personally anymore. The second post that I put out on TikTok today goes like this, and it's a little bit of a heavy one. Children cannot hate their parents because they need them to survive. And so when they are being mistreated by them, they end up hating themselves instead. Do bear in mind, however, that when they become adult and they no longer need their parents for survival, they can then hate them. So basically, this is to explain that when we're a child, if we're being mistreated by our parents, we are not in a position to ever hate them. We can be angry or frustrated or flustered, but we can never be hating them because we know as a child that we depend on them for survival. And so what happens is that when we're being mistreated by the adults, we end up hating ourselves instead. However, when we grow up and we no longer need them for survival, it's very, very highly likely that now we are in a position to be able to hate them. And that's why a lot of parents, they don't realize this, they don't realize that they're hurting their children even, but they're surprised that their children doesn't want to see them as they are grown up. They're wondering what happened, I've done everything for them, and yet they're so ungrateful. And that's because they don't understand that now they're in a position to hate them. Yeah, it's a very tricky situation, but it's very much what happens when people don't have much emotional intelligence, and they don't understand the impact they have on others because of that. Finally, the last post that I put out today goes like this. You're obsessed with being popular because you hate yourself so much that you need others to prove to you that you're lovable. So this is for those of us who are absolutely on a mission to just be popular. We need to be loved by everyone, so not everyone. Don't go at me and say, don't be, of course not everyone. But some people do, or at least we may do that at a stage of our life. And that's because we don't love ourselves, and so we need for other people to actually convince us, prove to us that we are indeed lovable. Okay, so now I need to see if there's any comment from anyone. There's one comment. So I have Lina Bin. Good afternoon, Didi. I hope that you're well. I managed to catch your live here instead of TikTok. Lynn, fantastic. Thank you, Lynn. How are you doing? How are you doing? Do you have anything you'd like to ask me about? Any conversation you would like to get started? Jinxing. Hey, hello, Jinxing. For those who don't know me, I specialize in depression, anxiety, addiction of any type and intensity, self-sabotage, and anger issues. But because I've been doing it for quite a while, I've come across all sorts of different cases, and I'm quite versed into most things when it comes to general mental health. Right? There are some specific things that I may not know about. Of course, I don't know everything. But as a clinical hypnotherapist and RTT therapist, it is very important to continuously expand my understanding of the human mind in order to utilize my tools optimally. Jinxing, nice background. Okay, thank you. Well, if you're wondering, because people ask me often, that picture here is my parents when they got married a long time ago. It's my little tribute to them. And again, for those who are new to that page, I'm all about mental health and human behavior and human psychology. If I don't get any question within the next few seconds, I will keep on reading and commenting on my own post until I do. There's more. Oliver, good afternoon, Didi. Do you have any practical advice for handling ADD with respect to forgetting tasks, getting distracted between tasks? Okay, let's talk about this. So I have ADHD myself. And so when we have a condition like that, we must understand our limits, our limitations at this point in time. And what we want to do is to create the optimal context conditions for us to function optimally. And so when I address ADHD, we don't address ADHD per se because it's a condition that describes how our brain functions differently. So it's not like a problem. It's not like an illness, something bad we must get rid of or overcome. It's just that this is how our brain works. And so where does the problem come from? It comes from the discrepancy between how your brain functions and society. Society is not designed for neurodivergent people. It is designed for neurotypical. Neurotypical is an invention that society came up with and is arbitrary. And basically, what it means is that neurotypical is the type of brain that allow people to function in that society. So basically, you need to be able to function in a capitalist society. That's what it means. You need to be able to do things that you don't like. You need to be able to deliver the amount of workload that they expect from you within the sort of time that are required, and you need to stick to a timetable and a structure that is put into place. And neurotypical is everything that is not. Neurodivergent is everything that is not neurotypical. And so neurodivergent is not just ADHD or autism, it's also people who have CPTSD, people who have depression or anxiety for a long time. Their brain have adapted and developed in such a way that they don't function the way a neurotypical person would. And so with this knowledge in mind, what do? You want to know that at this point in time, unless you have worked on some of your of your emotional triggers, we have some triggers, and there are ways to actually upgrade some of them, right? But before that even happens, we need to realize that there are three elements when it comes to any situation that are causing problems for us. You want to address first the main emotional trigger that is causing the most problems. So there's an association. There's something that is happening in our body when we are facing a situation or thinking of thoughts or witnessing something. And so that is creating something that is going to either get us to be hyper or to hold us back, freeze us. For instance, when it comes to ADHD, we can hyperfocus or we can be disconnected from that thing and zoom out. And so emotional trigger Number two, lifestyle. Lifestyle is essentially whatever that you will be doing in order to look after your physical health. So eating, sleeping, moving, taking some fresh air and some sun, those sort of things. And number three, environment. And this is very, very important for ADHD. Environment is being surrounded by people and being in places where we're not overwhelmed, when we're not stressed out, when we're not put under pressure, when we're not being asked to do things that we're not meant to be doing, and all those things. So at home and at work, it's very important for someone with ADHD to understand that we have places where we are, where we can be amazing. And there are some other places where we're going to be absolutely ruined. And the suffering doesn't come from the fact that we have ADHD. The suffering comes from the fact that you are in the wrong place. People are telling you things, expecting things from you, or you are expecting things from yourself. You're trying to fit in, to be normal, to mask. And this is exhausting because you were never designed to operate in such environment. Right? And there's a little parable, a little analogy, a metaphor that a lot of people talk about and use for that instance. And it goes like this. If you are wondering what is the cost of a bottle of water, if you buy it from the factory, maybe it's going to be, I don't know, 1 penny. But if you buy it from a corner shop, maybe it's going to be £1. If you buy it from a restaurant, maybe it's going to be £3. If you buy it from a nightclub or from a plane, first class, it may be £20. It's the same bottle, but the price, the value will vary depending on the environment. And so make sure that you know what you are doing, where you are. And so when it comes to the environment, there's something else to this with ADHD. We need to remind ourselves that ADHD, since it's not a problem, it's just a different brain, we want to understand what are the premises of it. And the way that I describe it yeah, when it comes to doing things, we can hyper focus on the things that we love. And so what it means is that the things that we don't love, we can't have the dopamine to do them. So we cannot get in gear to do anything that we have to do. Whereas if we love something, we'll be obsessed with that thing. And so here's the secret. The number one thing that you want to do is to realize that you must create a lifestyle, an environment that supports your condition, in the sense that you must do things that you love. Find out what it is that excites you. If you are in a 5 to 9 job, if you are in a sort of place that you happen to be there because you need to pay the bills. And if you are a highly functional ADHD person, then you may be able to do this, but it's going to be exhausting and it's going to be also not always happening. You will miss things, you will forget things, you will struggle a lot internally, and so you don't want to do this. What you want to do is to organize a strategy over a long period of time where you're going to choose a lifestyle, do something that you enjoy, something that excites you, something that elevates you, that stimulates you positively. This is what you want to do, number one thing. And so that'll be much easier for you to do that thing without having to think about it. Now, having said that, we also all have a lot of things to do every day. All of us, we must wash ourselves, we must pay the bills, sort of things. And so there are systems around it. And so now we're back into the environment. We want to avoid stress. Any exposure to stress is going to increase your ADHD trait or ADD trait, right? So you don't have the H bit. You're talking about ADD. You find it difficult to focus and get things done. If you are stressed out, if you're under pressure, if you are unhappy as well, because depression and anxiety, all of those things add stress in some ways in your body. It's going to inflame and exacerbate all the traits that you have about your ADD. And so we want to make sure that we organize, again, an environment where we're not going to be under stress. Avoid toxic people. Avoid people who are places that are too noisy, too chaotic, too busy, for instance. Organize yourself so that your life is supporting yourself. Right? So let's go back to the original question. So those are few advices that I throw here. But what I'm trying to say is that we look in the wrong place. When we have ADD or ADHD or anything, we want to have like a hack to get us to function and comply to the rules of society. And we don't realize that this is the reason why we suffer, because we're trying to do something that we're not meant to be doing. You don't want to do this. You want to find out your tribe, your place, your talent, your passion, your things. And when you do this, you would not need to be anything else but what you are. And you will thrive. Some of the most successful and inspirational and amazing people in the world have ADHD, autism. They have conditions like that, but they have managed, or they are lucky enough to be in an environment that supported their condition as opposed to repressing and try to convert them into normal people. So I hope it makes sense. If you can give me a specific example, I can give you some hacks that can help you specifically. But the general idea, when people ask me those questions, is to explain how you don't need to change anything about yourself as much as you want to change your life altogether, so that your life reflects your potential, right? When we say that ADHD is a superpower, I really promote this, but it's only a superpower when and if we understand what it is, and we are creating a space that is going to allow us to develop those superpowers. We can hyperfixate. We also think out of the box, and those are qualities that are highly looked looked for in any companies, and also if you're an entrepreneur as well. You can go so far. You can do so much with a sort of brain. So there you go. What do you think about this, Oliver? Does it help at all? But again, if you have something specific, do be specific, be more detailed, and I will give you more detailed and specific answers as well. Tanist, I would suggest reading a lot of Robert Greene, great book on human psychology. I don't like him. I don't like him. Sorry. I understand that there are also people out there, and people are different places in their life, and they might find some author interesting for whatever reason. But Robert Greene is very negative. He's very patriarchal, toxic masculinity, just like Peterson, very self-righteous, very bitter. He's very, very bitter. And when I first discovered him, I really gave him a chance. But everything that he said is so, it's like old people who are grumpy and bitter and caught into their old way of thinking. It's always about comparing, and some people being virtuous and better than others. There's a lot of shame and guilt. So I don't like him. I'm sorry. I understand that, again, some people may find some offer interesting for them. Maybe at this point in time in your life, or maybe forever, you will find that his advice are very good. But to me, there's so much more to this than that. For me, happiness, mental health, and or accessing our potential is about love, self-love, self-acceptance. It's about connection. And what he does, Robert Greene, is the opposite. It's like Peterson. It's all about shame. It's all about categorizing who's better, who's inferior and superior. And to me, it's very much old century, and I absolutely, totally, 100% don't support that. I'm sorry. But again, it doesn't mean that you are stupid or that you're a bad person. We are all different, and we have different advice that come different places that could make sense to us. So maybe that can help you somehow in your journey, and it's fair enough. But I will not promote this within my place, within my bubble, because I believe that there's so much more to that, and I really will want to come out of that narrative. But that's me, right? I hope you understand, Tanist. Oliver Nisbet. Also, love the videos and appreciation from Scotland. Thank you so much, Oliver. Thank you. Lina Bin, I've got a few ongoing health issues, but working through them, okay, I have done a lot of inner works over the years, but I still have some unresolved thoughts about previous abusive, narcissistic partners. Okay, so let's address just that comment. So this is very good because you understand that there's a correlation, a connection between your body and your mind. And what I mean by that is that you do mention that you have health issues, and then you talk about a narcissistic, abusive ex-partner. And this is very often what happens. People don't realize that there's a strong connection between our emotional and mental health and the things that happen to us and any wounds that may be unhealed and the very state of our body, as in how it functions. And so if you have any health issues, do you want to share with us some of them and see if we can find some correlation? Because we have not been taught how a lot of our physical health issues can be better looked after when we address the mental and emotional aspect of them. There's a part of us that when we're young, we create all sort of things. We create a program that's going to dictate how we experience the world. It's called belief system, but also it's going to trigger some reactions in our body whenever we're facing certain situation because of the same mental and emotional states we've been in childhood. And so that develops into all sort of things at a physiological level. And so, yeah, we can talk about this. But yes, it's true that when we live with someone who is abusive for a long time, they actually cause havoc in our health, not only our mental and emotional health. If you live with someone who is narcissistic, you would be actually showing the same symptoms of someone who has PTSD after a while, because your brain is going to be on a constant state of being unsafe and danger, and so it's going to change the way it functions. And this is what the brain does. The brain is plastic, so it's always constantly, continuously changing, adapting, growing, evolving, and adjusting to whatever we're going through in our life. And so if we live with someone who is narcissistic, the constant microaggression and belittling and gaslighting and thousand paper cuts hurt, but it's always happening, is literally getting us to experience PTSD, and that will change not only the way we think, the way we feel about ourselves all the time, but also very much the body will follow that. And we will start to develop some problems or allow some problems that were there, but were not meant to be triggered. So we all have some genes from our parents or grandparents, and we may have the genes of cancer or dementia, for instance, but they're dormant cells. They're not meant to be triggered, but those situations may actually trigger them. Too much stress, too much overwhelm, being on a constant state of high alertness, high hypervigilance, which means survival. So if you're on a constant state of survival, you can never be in a parasympathetic state. You can never rest, you can never digest properly, you can never recover, you can never regenerate a new cell, you can never allow for your body to heal. So it means that your immune system is going to be down, your nervous system is going to be all over the place, your endocrine system is going to suffer from it. All of the systems are going to be affected by how you feel about yourself. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about this, Lina Bin. No name lady. Good morning. Good morning to you. So we're in the UK here. Here is the afternoon. It's 23 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. But good morning to you, wherever you are. Oliver Nisbet, yes, that was very helpful. Fantastic, thank you so much. I had never viewed ADD as a different skill set, more as a set of symptoms to fix. No, you are not a problem. The problem is that society has been very, very cruel and uneducated about people who are different. We don't choose to have conditions like that. We are born, we have some genetics, we have some environmental influence, and all of those things together are going to create the way a brain is going to develop. And so we don't choose that. No one chooses that. But it's only now that we're starting to have that conversation and talk about it. Now there's more and more awareness about mental health, and it's a great thing. And that's why there's so many people who are starting to get diagnosed. Even at a very later stage in their life, people in their 50s finding out that they had ADHD all their life, for instance, or all the stuff, right? And there will always be a bunch of people who are going to say, everyone has got ADHD, everyone has got autism, everyone has got borderline or bipolar or whatever. And maybe it's a fact, maybe it's the truth. The thing is that a lot of people always had problems, suffered from depression, from anxiety, but because we didn't know much about mental health, we just blamed it on you being weak, don't be such a sissy, that sort of things. And that made only things worse. And so now we're starting to have intelligence and compassion in regards to those who need it the most in that society that is not designed for them, which is us, the neurodivergent people. So yes, we want to change the narrative. You are not inferior. There's nothing wrong about you. It's just that you have been told the lie. And even our parents, who, for the vast majority of us, for the vast majority of them, do love their children. But if they don't know, if they have not been taught about empathy and compassion and mental health education, they wouldn't know. So they will truly believe that they need to push their kids. Don't be so lazy when they have ADHD. Don't be so stupid when we have dyslexia. Don't be so needy when they have borderline personality disorder, and so forth and so on. I mean, as they grow up, borderline is not for kids. But we judge people, we judge ourselves, and parents judge their kids because we don't know that we are and we do what we do because of what happened to us. No one chooses. It's never a default of character. It's never because some of us are born wicked or because we lack of virtue or anything like that. This is, again, the older narrative that some people like Peterson or Robert Greene, for instance, or the Stoics would maybe talk about. And I don't agree with that at all. I believe that it's very, very highly damaging for so many people's perception of selves. Maxime Michel. Hi Didi, I'm still thinking about my ex-partner from 2 years ago. She broke me and I went through lots of therapy, depression, medication, also made me believe I was a narcissist. How do I move on? Okay, let's talk about this. So, what I want you to realize is that you are not one mind. We tend to believe that we are one mind. My mind is me, and there's only one of it. And because of that, it's very confusing because we have different states, we have different thoughts, we have different feelings, and we believe that we are the same person feeling and experiencing all of those thoughts and states. And the better way to look at it is to realize that we have many minds. There are many parts within you, and each part within you has a purpose, has a function, has a role, has an identity, has a set of belief, and even has a body. But this is a different conversation. And basically, all those parts are created in your childhood to save you, to protect you from whatever you're going through. And so there'll be part of you in charge of anger, there'll be parts of you in charge of shame, there'll be parts of you in charge of taking responsibility, reassurance, or maybe aggression. And all those parts, they do exist because you have created them, you have put them into place. And so, for instance, if you've been betrayed in childhood, there's a part of you that will be in charge of not trusting people. It's going to remind you, don't trust people because you've been betrayed, right? And so forth and so on. Right? So you have plenty of them. And the best way to illustrate this is that whenever you think, we often have an inner dialogue. We have a conversation with ourselves. And it's not one mind speaking. It's all of us minds having a meeting and they're all grabbing the mic one by one, right? And so, for instance, you may want to do something, I don't know, oh, I want to eat that cake. There's the part of you that enjoy cakes that is speaking in that moment. But the next moment, you may say, but I shouldn't be eating that cake because I'm trying to lose weight. Now it's the part of you that is cautious, that wants to do what it thinks is right, and so forth and so on. We move on from different narrative, and we don't realize that it's different part of us that come out whenever it's best suited according to one part of you that is in charge of monitoring the whole group. And so this is what we call the dread sergeant. And so why am I talking about all of this? Because every time that we experience something, we need to find out who is speaking, who has hijacked the cockpit, the cabin where you are, who has hijacked my mind. Whenever a part of you is taking over, you are seeing things that are slightly different because they have a different perspective. You have a different narrative and self-talk. And you also have different feeling in your body. And you have a lot of different priorities as well, because each part has a different job. And so you want to remind yourself, if I'm feeling lost and confused and angry and heartbroken, even after 2 years that my ex-partner is gone, who is feeling like that? Which part of you is feeling like that? And the part of you probably that is hijacking you every single time that you feel like that is the part of you who believes that you're unlovable and that you will never be loved, but you've been lucky for once and it's never going to happen again. So I could be wrong, correct me, because there are all sorts of possibilities out there, but I'm just throwing something out there randomly and see if it hits the spot or not. But it could be the belief that I am not lovable, love is not available to me, and then this happened and it was a one-off. Or it could be no one can get me, no one can understand me, but that person did. So that person is so special. And so now the conversation that you're going to have in your head from that part is going to be, you can't let go of that person. You need to get back to that person because it's never going to happen again. Out of the billions of people in the whole world, there's no one like that person. And this is not true. because you don't know. 9 billion, it's a lot of people. And to believe that no one is going to ever be able to get you, to love you, to be there for you, is just not possible. There's got to be some people out there that are just as good or even not better, right? And so you want to address your belief. You have a belief about yourself, essentially, that is coming from one of the parts within you that is holding you back into the past. If you could actually switch on to the part of you that is rational, that is logical, that is analytical, and to get that part of you to assess the situation. Okay, let's look at that belief. Is it true that that person is so special that I can never find love ever again unless I get back to that person? Then that version of you would say, no, it's not true. There are plenty of people out there. We must give them a chance, right? But then again, it could be something else. Maybe it's because you suffered a lot in childhood and somehow that person reminded you of one of your caregiver, and you are trying somehow to fix your past by trying to fix that person that is now gone. There could be all sorts of different reasons, but the main thing for you is to find out that, number one, you are not suffering from anything else than a belief. Number two, that belief lives inside of you, within a part of you. So it's not even you, as in your inner self. You have an inner being that is your very self. And all of those different parts of you are working as a group, as a collective, to help you navigate through life, because back then, as a child, you believed that you needed those systems to protect you from whatever was happening to you. So yes, let me read the message again from Maxim. I'm still thinking about my ex-partner. She broke me. So change the narrative as well. Instead of saying she broke me, think I was very hurt, but accept that life is a series of experience. You're here to experience your human adventure, and being heartbroken is a part of it, right? And so maybe you can also look at it like that. See yourself like, okay, this happened to me, but instead of focusing on the past, focus on the future. Now I want to explore myself. I want to meet other people. I want to date, flirt again. And so the first advice that I would give you is to eliminate anything that can remind you of your ex. Any picture on your phone, any pictures on a piece of paper, get rid of that, or maybe put it away so that you don't have access to it. Any clothes that they may have left, any things that remind you of them, get rid of it. Because whenever you see a picture or something that is reminding you of them, your brain is going to boom, create a flashback, a visual and an emotional flashback. And so change your environment, change your habits, and create a focus. Instead of allowing for yourself to think about old stuff from the past and ruminate, regurgitate some sort of thoughts, you want to have a project. Focus on something that you want to create. So it can be a project in regards to your passion, your hobby, your work, your career, or going out on the scene. But do something proactive as opposed to staying there and allowing for the old thoughts to come back to you, right? I went through a lot of therapy, depression, medication. So generally speaking, when people are so shaken by a split, it's because they have some underlying problem. So your problem is not because of your ex. Your problem is because you have some attachment problems. It's because you have some unhealed wounds about yourself, about your perception of yourself. Whatever happened to you in childhood has created in you a sense of you that believes that this is who I am and I need someone to complete me. It's never going to happen. And basically, this is just the result, the continuation, the culmination of all of those things up to this point. So what you want to do is to change and address your perception of yourself. So I'm just throwing different ideas because I don't know you. Right? I only have one sentence, but I'm throwing different ideas, and I hope that one of them will land at the right place at the right time, and that may create a little, maybe we can try this, right? And so the other thing that you can do is to change the perception that you have of yourself by doing some work that are going in that direction. You don't want to change anything about others. You don't want to change anything about the past. You don't want to change anything about the world, because we can't. What you can do, the only one thing that you can do is to change how you see yourself in this world, which will in turn change the way you feel about yourself, and it will change the narrative that you have in your mind as well. Because all of our problems, if I was going to put it in a nutshell, everything about our life is down to one thing. how we see ourselves in this world. That's it. If we can see ourselves in a better way, under a better light, in a more empowering way, then there's no reason for us, for any one of us, not to have anything that we want, that we desire in this life. The only reason we don't have certain things in our lives is because we believe that certain things in life are not available to us. And this is down to how we believe, to who we believe we are. If I believe that I am that sort of person, it means that maybe love, maybe health, maybe success, maybe purpose is not available to me. Or connection, belonging. So yes, did anything that I said was any helpful at all? And again, if you give me more details, guys, I will go more into details. I'm just doing my best to answer you based on what you say. Very often I ask for details, but people don't give me any more details. And so I've learned how to give answers based on very vague question. But if you can give me more, hallelujah, that would be fantastic. Oliver, I work in an environment where everything needs to be right first time, legal regulation. So I recheck a lot of my work. However, I still make mistakes after multiple checks. How can I address this? So it depends. Do you love your work? Do you love your environment? Do you love your company? Are you in the place where you should be? Being where you should be means that the people that you work with must understand and appreciate your quality and your flaws and your superpower and your limitations. They must see you for who you are, and they must be ready that this is who Oliver is. And so we know that he can do amazing stuff, but we also know that he may actually F up at times. So they must know that, so they are putting you in the right place, doing the right job. They can't expect things from you that you may not be able to deliver. Otherwise, it will be very unfair on you. You will have to force yourself, and you may be able to deliver, but it's going to be exhausting for you to constantly hyper focus on things that don't excite you, that don't align with your own vibes, right? But I can see how there could be some systems there. So if you have something that is very, very repetitive, but you enjoy it because it's something that you like, if you do enjoy this, you need to confirm this for me, please. That'll be helpful. Then you can actually you can create something, there's some systems that you can put into place. What I'd say is make sure that your mind has some air, some space. And so there are a couple of things that we always recommend. Number one, make sure that you are breaking things into baby steps. So you are releasing the stress, the pressure that I was talking about. Let go of the deadline. Let go about thinking about the outcome, about hitting the goals or the target. Just do what you can within little baby steps. So that everything that you do remains simple, easy, and fun. Right? The reason why we create stress for ourselves is because we believe that things are hard, things are complicated, and things are boring, annoying. Oh, I don't like it. You can find a way to make things simple and easy and fun, and do some little baby chunks, and have a break regularly. So there's something called the Pomodoro technique. I think you work for 20 minutes and then you have a break for 5 minutes and you repeat or something like that. You can choose different numbers, but basically you want to create a habit where you're going to focus for a short amount of time, baby steps, and then have a little bit of chill time, do something else, meditation, listen to some music, go for a walk and come back and do it again so that your brain is fresh and ready to do this. So it doesn't accumulate or fatigue and eventually stress. When we're overwhelmed, when we're tired, when we're exhausted, it's another type of stress. And so there are those sort of things that you could add into your system, Oliver. Maxim, I had such strong emotional reaction when with her. Something popped up, so that took my attention away, sorry. Let me go at it again. I had such a strong emotional reaction when with her. I felt like dying inside. Later, got diagnosed with autism. Ah, okay, so you have autism. I am off meds and moved on to the other side of the world, but I'm still fixated. Okay, so if you have autism, you would fixate on different things for different reasons. So when we have, when we are on the autism spectrum, if we are going to go through trauma, it's going to be experienced much differently. And I can see here maybe a combination of both. And so basically something happened to you and you have autism as well. And so now there are some things that are happening in your life that are kind of reminding you of some things that happened to you in the past. And so whatever you can't stop thinking about is because your brain thinks that it's an unresolved issue that is very important. So it keeps on bringing it back. And so if something that happened to you in your adulthood reminded you of a situation in the past and you have autism, that would explain that. And even if you didn't have autism, but if you are autistic, that reinforces that, right? People who have ADHD or autism, they're even more sensitive to the trauma that they go through in their upbringing. And so that would explain that. How do we address this? It's tricky because I can see that your case is a little bit complex, and I don't know you enough to give you some advice that would be necessarily helpful. I'd say, you know what, I'm going to go the mindfulness way path. Try to learn how to see that situation from a different perspective. So I'm thinking about my husband. My husband is autistic, and we've been together for 20 years. Actually, gosh, I just realized the anniversary is going to be the end of March. So on Monday, it's our anniversary. Okay, I just reminded myself. So anyway, so he's got autism, and what we want to do is to learn how to practice forgiveness, acceptance, compassion, and those sort of things, right? So now it's a different type of procedure, but really it's something that would work for everyone anyway. But I know that it worked for him. And so maybe look at yourself, look at your past, look at your ex, look at all those things and change the narrative. Instead of thinking, why did they do that to me? Try to think, okay, so we're all here, we're living our life, we do the best that we can, and this happened. And what matters is that now I can start all over again. I can do other things. I don't need to be fixated by the past. I don't need, it's not going to help me to ruminate and ruminate those thoughts for another 10 years. And so try to think about this. Practice mindfulness, practice acceptance, practice forgiveness, but most importantly, forgiveness to self. And if you can see people and your past through the lenses of compassion, and even gratitude. If you can see the positive in the past, then that can absolutely change the way that you feel about yourself. Right? Again, the advice that I just given are very generic, right? But they do help to some of us, and so that's why I'm giving it to you. If I knew you better, I would give you some more specific things, but I don't know any more about you at this point in time. So at this point in time, that's what I would suggest to you. It may sound a bit hippie, but I love hippie. Hippie is good. Delve into self-compassion, into self-forgiveness, into acceptance as well. Accept that the things happen and things don't happen because of you, at you, or to you. Things just happen, and you happen to be there. Try to learn how to see your life and yourself as an observer. And you can do this easily because you're autistic. Instead of, I am in the middle of the storm, what is happening to me? Zoom out and become the wise version of yourself who is looking over yourself and thinking, okay, this is happening to Maxim. And it doesn't mean anything about him as a person. It's only an experience that is teaching him something. So try to find out what was it for me to learn from that experience. There you go. Okay, let's move on. Maybe, hopefully, you will give me some more details and I'll be able to give you something more. But at this point in time, that's all that comes into my mind. I hope that something was somehow positive to you. Maxim, thanks. I love your channel. Thank you, Maxim. No name lady. Where are you located? I am in Colorado. All right, okay. I'm in London, in the UK. So this is from central London. I've been living here for 27 years now. Lina Bin, thank you. That reinforces what I thought, as my health issues are all autoimmune and endocrine. Yes. I've recognized my part in having toxic people into my life that were triggers Now, healthy boundaries. Yes, very good. And also make sure that you are working on your inner peace. So you can do this through healing therapies, protocols, but also through the journey of mindfulness, meditation, maybe a sort of spiritual awakening. All of those things can contribute in many different ways. And also adjust your lifestyle. As we talked about it briefly, do you eat well? Do you sleep well? Do you move? Do you go out in nature? Do you socialize? Do you connect with people? Do you meditate? Do you things that make you happy? Do you do things that are creative, that elevate you, that excite you? Do you chill as well? And all of those things, and your environment. Make sure that you're not with people who are making you feel worse. You know, be with people who are kind, who are patient, who are understanding of your situation and supportive. Maxim, that's very interesting. Would you recommend any book on this multiple mind subject? Yes, there's a book that you can read called No Body Part from Richard Schwartz. So he's the guy who came up with the internal family system. And this is precisely what it's about. So you can actually learn a lot about this yourself. So I repeat it. No Bad Part from Richard Schwartz. It's a great book, very important book in my line of work. Joe, how are you doing, young man? I'm doing very well. Thank you for calling me young man. I'm feeling very happy with that. You've made my day. Thank you so much, Joe. Maxim, amazing answer. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Thank you. It's very helpful. I'm doing my best. It's just very uncomfortable. My logical brain and emotions are just not in line. Thanks. Okay, yes, yes. So this is the reason why we suffer, because we don't realize, we forget, or maybe we don't even know that we have not just one mind. So I'm not talking about the internal parts. I'm talking about the operational system. We have the brain, the head, we have the heart, which is your body, and we have the gut, which is your intuition. And they have different functions, and we speak a different language, and we should really use the right mind at the right time. But because we've only been taught to use our head for everything, and if you are autistic, there'll be even more. So then we get trapped, and we suffer from the limitations of our brain. Our brain cannot do everything. It doesn't know about emotions and feelings. It doesn't know about intuition and inspiration. And so, yeah. Christine, hello. Hello, Christine. Oliver, can you recommend any book on the subject you discuss on YouTube? So I just told you about that book, right? It was for. Was it for Oliver? That was for Maxim. Oliver, so you want a book for what? Any book on the subjects you discuss on YouTube? I don't know. I forgot about the discussion I had with you, Oliver. I was talking about the internal family system and the part witness with Maxim. So with you, Oliver, we're talking about, let me go back. It was just a second ago. It was about, your ADHD and your ability. Okay, I can recommend you a book. So if you have ADHD, I will recommend you Scattered Mind from Gabor Mate. Right? Fantastic book for anyone who's got ADHD or ADD. Right? So I repeat, Scattered Mind from Dr. Gabor Mate. Get that book. If you have ADD, you must read that book. And it's going to be life-changing for you. Okay? I don't know if it's on YouTube, but you can follow his work. Dr. Gabor Mate is one of my favorite person in the world. I love him. I love everything about his mind, about his experience, his knowledge, about his compassion, about his humanity. He's fantastic. He's really, really spot on. And so anything from him is gold. But that book, for ADD people, Scattered Mind, is a must. Oliver, additionally, how would you suggest someone should deal with a feeling of needing to be the best? So we're talking about perfectionism. So let's talk about this. It's a very common problem for people with ADHD. And so if you believe that you are a perfectionist, you know that it's a disease, it's an illness. Number one, you want to stop glorifying it. You want to stop thinking that it's a good thing. Oh, I am a perfectionist, I am a high achiever, those sort of things. Because the more you do that, the more you are reinforcing that aspect of your personality that is actually creating problems for you. Being a perfectionist is actually a cancer. It's an illness. It's toxic. It brings nothing good to you. It's going to take everything that is good in your life. It's going to take your health. It's going to take your happiness away. Because being perfect, needing to be perfect, perfectionism, essentially what it means is that we believe that we're not enough, and that no matter how hard we try, we will never be enough. So it's an endless journey of pain and solitude as well. Because when we are a perfectionist, what it means is that it's going to be very hard for us to accept anyone in our life. Because if we judge ourselves, we're going to judge others as well. So I don't know if it's something that you've been through yourself, Oliver. But yes, perfectionism is not a good thing. We want to change the narrative. And one of the way we can do things, so I have a system, because I was a perfectionist myself as well for a long, long time, and it just to drive me mad. It's just to burn out. This is how we burn out, because we want things to be perfect. We want to do everything. We want to tick all the boxes. We've got to be better than others. Or just it's got to be perfect. It's just not enough. And so what we want to do is to practice. So I don't know, I keep on saying that. I'm sure that there's a system somewhere, but I came up with something and I call it the 90% system. Right? So basically, what you do something and you deliberately leave 10% of the table. You're saying yourself, okay, I can do better, but I'm going to choose to stop here and to leave 10% aside. So it can be 5% if it makes you easier, but it doesn't matter. Leave some aside and tell yourself, I'm a perfectionist. So no matter what I do, 90% will be absolutely more than enough. But if you can get to a point where you tell yourself, I am choosing intentionally, deliberately, and consciously to leave 10% on the table and look at it and feel happy about it and move on. Now, you're going to find freedom. It's going to be so much easier because now you're going to be able to do more without being stuck in a spot because you're trying to make it perfect. Right? So that's my advice. So again, I don't know if it's a thing, but I've been doing it for years. 90% or 95%. Choose to intentionally leave some on the table for every project, every task that you do, and not to be sitting watching that, you know what, it's not perfect, but I'm choosing to leave it like that and be satisfied with that. And then eventually your brain will find out that it's more than enough. It was always more than enough, and now I can move on. You can have some free time, you can chill, or you can do more stuff. So that's one of the hacks that I always recommend for people who are perfectionists. Is it what you meant? Or is it more something to do? I'm realizing that what I was talking about is what you do. Maybe it's how you feel about yourself, needing to be the best. Because there are a lot of different angles like that. So if you need to be the best, it's because you believe that you're not enough. You believe that you're not worthy. You need to prove yourself. Maybe in your childhood you didn't have unconditional love. You've only been given love and attention when you were the best, when you were better than others, when you won a competition, when you made your parents proud. Right? This is one of the worst things you can tell your kids: make us proud. Because when parents tell that to their children, what the children understand is they're not proud of me the rest of the time. They don't love me. Only if and when I do that. And because of that, now the whole of your life, there's a part of you that is going to create that. You must be the best. You must impress people. Is it more what you meant, Oliver, or was it the other conversation that I had just before? Maxim, thanks again. I will read no bad parts. Thank you. Fantastic. Too. So, great book. Because it's also a book that teaches you how to do this. So it's like a self-help book. It's not just about getting information. It's learning how to practice it and apply it in your life. Andy Smith, Lynn, we're in Scotland. Oliver, thank you. I pray, maybe appreciate. KTB, the 90% rule puts you in charge and frees you from needing to obsessively take all of everything from every situation. Yes, yes, precisely, indeed. Oliver, I appreciate that your answers are very detailed and very informative. Thank you so much, Oliver. I'm glad you appreciate. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. I'm coming to the end of the thread for the first time today. And so, anything else you'd like me to discuss? Let me just check one thing on my YouTube. I just wanted to check that I was indeed live on my screen. I am. So all is rolling. Everything is fine. Okay. KTB, are those your parents in the picture behind you? What a lovely couple. Thank you so much. Yes, it's them. My mom and dad when they got married a long time ago. I had a lot of problems with them for a long, long time, like many of us. And I finally, over many, many decades, found a way to find peace and to change myself. I have many conditions. I've been through a lot in my childhood and teenagehood, and this is my reminder that now I am at peace with them. I'm at peace with myself, and it's a good place to be. But it was not always like that. But yes, it's my parents indeed. Oliver, and yes, perfectionism was part of it, but it was more of what you said after. All right, okay. Needing to get the highest mark or needing to be promoted to the highest. Okay, so basically you want to change that by reminding yourself that your worth is not determined by what you do. Your worth is not determined by your job position, by your career, by how much money you make, by your success, by your productivity. Your worth is something that you are inherently born with. The universe is made of everythingness, everything, everyone. We're all part of it. And so we all have a role in it. The moment we are born, the moment we exist, we are worthy. We're worthy of existing. There's a reason we exist. Whatever that we do, we judge ourselves because we're looking at ourselves from the perspective of the human, the ego, society, capitalism. And so because of that, when we look at ourselves from that perspective, we're going to feel bad about ourselves. We want to be successful. We want to be a billionaire. We want to be Elon Musk or whatever. Some of us, not everyone, but we want to be successful to impress others, and that's because we've been told that it was a good idea. We observe our parents and society, television, newspapers, teachers, people, they all have the same sort of narrative in a capitalist society. And because of that, we absorb that and we look at ourselves from that perspective and we feel bad. And so what you can do is to change your perspective. You are many things. You are not just a citizen in a capitalist society. Uh, uh, Look at the things that you are good at, right? And so change the context of the conversation, of the narrative. When you look at yourself and you feel that you're not worthy, it's because also you look at yourself from the position of maybe your parents, right? Or your teachers, or whoever you looked up to, or anyone who was your caregiver. And so basically, they don't mean, generally speaking, depends. Some do, but most of parents don't mean to hurt their children. Most parents love their kids, but they can only give what they know. And so, if they've been raised into believing certain beliefs, they will just do the same things that happen to them to their own kids. And so, they may believe that it's a good idea for you to be competitive, to prove others that you are better than others. It's a good idea to believe that there's a division, that there's not enough goodness in the whole world for all to share, that you must fight for it, and that you must always be crushing your enemies, all sort of things. And it's a very toxic set of belief. It doesn't teach us how to expand and to be happy and connected and to be inspired and to create things out of love. It just teaches us how to survive. And so you may want to address a lot of your belief in regards to how you see the world, society. You are not your productivity. That's what I'm trying to say. You are many things to many people within every different context. So learn how to see yourself more from contexts that are positive to you, right? And so maybe for your friends, you're a good friend. Maybe for some member of your family, you are a good sibling or a good child or parent or whatever. Maybe in some context to do with the things that you like to do, you're someone who's very good at that thing. Maybe for someone, I don't know, who is a music lover or who enjoys nature, you're very good, you know a lot about it. Everything is contextual. And so learn how to see yourself from a context that actually elevates you, as opposed to from the guilt, shame, self-blame, not enough context. You must do this, you must be productive. You can never be happy unless and until you tick all of those boxes that you have never chosen in the first place. We want find out what it is that excites you, find your authentic self, and learn how to see yourself from those contexts. I hope it makes sense to you, Oliver. Does it? KTB, looking at your parents with adult eyes rather than child eyes is hard but very important. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, indeed. So this is the thing, when we look at our parents or our past, when we suffer, or anything, if we suffer from someone, if we're angry at someone, if we're hurt by someone, it's because in that moment, or in a child, the parts of us that are still hurt from what happened in the past is taking over, and we're experiencing things from that standpoint. Right? And so we're going to be feeling the same feeling that we had then, where we were left at as a child. And so whenever we're helpless or anxious or angry or depressed, we are back into those shoes. That's it. Right? But if we can change that perspective and look at ourselves from the position of the adult, I'm a grown-up. Do I need to worry about that? Is it still a problem? Is it still going to affect me? Am I still in danger? No, not anymore. Now I'm an adult. I've got imagination, I've got wisdom, I've got intuition, I've got resources. I can do so many things, but I couldn't back then. And so if anything happened again, now I'm ready. It doesn't matter. And so now fear, anxiety, uncertainties, overthinking, all those things, they're no longer needed. Right? We create those systems because we believe that those systems are going to protect us. But if you can realize that we don't need that protection anymore, now all of those things, they vanish. We need to learn how to acknowledge them and process them and then let them go. And once we've done that, they don't need to come back because now we have that mind that is in charge. We are the adult now. Lina Bin, you are so incredibly intuitive. Thank you so much, Lina Bin. Yeah, I'm trying mindfulness and my spiritual side. I've always struggled to maintain friendships and relationships. I'm a good listener, kind and empathetic. Find your tribe. Find the people who are like you. There are a lot of people in the world. There are many who are like you. All you need to do is to find the right people. That's it. And you don't need to have a lot of them either. When I say that we need to socialize, it's very important for us to have some people that we connect with at a deep level. It doesn't mean that we have to have stadiums full of people, just a handful, right? Even, I don't know if you can have one friend, two friends, three friends, that's more than enough. People with whom you can just be yourself without having to even say anything at all. That's what you want. And you can find them, right? Just look in the right place. Follow your intuition and also use the social media. Nowadays, more than ever before, there's so many ways for us to connect with different people, different tribe. The world has become so much smaller since social media and internet. And also when you say I've struggled to maintain friendship, the truth is that you don't need to maintain friendship. You need to go out there and to connect with people for whatever duration of time is going to happen. It may be, you may be friend with some people for a few months, for a few years, for a few days, for a few hours. It doesn't matter. It's about you being who you are and how you're going to relate with people. Right? You don't need people to know you as much as you need to be at peace with yourself. But here's the thing, when you're at peace with yourself, you will attract people that are on the same wavelength as you, and that will happen naturally without you even thinking about it. And before you know it, you're going to have a friendship that lasted 10 years. But you don't want to seek the friendship. We don't own people. Friends are not for us to collect and have. They're just experiences. Look, just like any relationship, same thing with romantic relationships. We're not here to have people and they belong to me, they're my friends, and now there's some sort of unspoken code of conduct. We must be loyal. We must never betray each other. It's just rubbish. We're all different. We change. We have different states, and it's okay. What I want to do, however, is to appreciate people without attachment. We are appreciating the moment, the experience, the shared feelings, the conversation, the memories of that, right? And anything else is a bonus. And so I, for instance, I don't have many friends that I see regularly. I've got like very, very few. Like I can count them, there's less than 5, but it's okay. We catch up every now and then. Sometimes we don't speak to each other for a year, and it's okay. But whenever I go out, I'm friend with everyone. Whenever I look after people online, when I talk to anyone, in that moment, you are my friends. I don't expect anything. I don't do things because I gave you something. Now you need to give me something back. I don't care. What matters is the experience that we have in this moment, right? But very often, when we have friendships or relationships, we expect that because I've done that, I should get this back in return, right? Otherwise, it's not fair. And we don't want to think like that because this is what attachment is about. Right? We want to learn how to have relationships without attachment. Focus on the moments, focus on the experience, focus on the energy that we are sharing, and this is more than enough. And there are zillions of people out there. You can do it every day, all the time. And so whenever I go out in the park, I go to Russell Square. It's my local park. I spend a lot of time there, so you can find me there if you happen to be around, walking, meditating, listening to some audiobooks, and smelling the flowers. And when I'm there, every now and then, some people sit next to me and we start to have a chat. And that moment, they're my friends, and I'm happy with that. And I may never see them again in my life. It doesn't matter. I'm friend with that person for a few minutes or maybe for an hour, and it's good. It's okay. We don't need to have any reassurance other than the ability that we can talk to people and we can also know and feel when people are okay to talk to or not. In a bin, but I'm always alone. So do what I said. Come out and learn how to change. Don't expect anything and don't see yourself like alone. You're not alone. I'm here. There are a lot of people, there are millions of people. If you feel alone, that's because of depression, disconnection, and the belief that you don't belong. And so address that belief. Do you belong? Yes. Do you know what you belong to? You may not belong to the group that you wanted to belong to at some stage in your life, in your childhood, because maybe your parents, maybe you've been bullied. And so because of that, you believed that you don't belong. But it's not true because there's a bigger club than that, a better club, and that's the universe. You belong to the universe. The universe is everything. And so you have to belong to that. You cannot not belong to the universe. And so you belong already. Now what you want to do is to realize that everyone has got a different experience and a different mental bubble. They have a different experience of reality. So what you want to do is to find the people who are sharing the same sort of reality as yours. Right? And that means all you need to do is to expand your field of vision and stop on fixating maybe on that sort of people that you always gravitate towards. They rejected me, they don't love me, there's something wrong about me, I'm never going to be loved or accepted or seen. But if you could look up, realize there's a whole world out there, with a lot of people who are like you and who are waiting to get to know you and to love you unconditionally, exactly for who you are. So do this, change your mindset, come on, go out there, try, and you may not find someone straight away, but the more you open your mind, the more you change the narrative, the more you remind yourself, I belong to nature. I belong to whatever that you enjoy. I don't know if you like music. I belong to the people who love the same sort of music as I do. I belong to the sort of people who love the same sort of hobbies that I have. Um, uh, no, I don't know. Some people they are into manga, anime, costume things. It's a whole culture. So those people, they seems like geek and weird, but there are places where there are hordes, armies of them, and we can belong together and we all dress up together. And this is only one example. You know, you could belong to the LGBT community. You could belong to the neurodivergent community. You could belong to a community where people who used to be traumatized and have been abused and are all healing and recovering together. There's so many different ways to look at it. You belong to more than one group, and it's for you to find those groups. And if you can't find them, create them. Tammy Michel, thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Oliver, that helps a lot. Thank you. Thank you, Oliver. KTB, also seeing them as fellow adults, as peers, and understanding who they are as a peer. So yes, so this is what we do when we go through a process of healing, indeed. Right? When you look at our parents, when you look at people who abused us in the past, we keep on looking at them from the perspective of the child that was hopeless, that was clueless, and that was vulnerable. But if we can look at the parents who hurt us now from the position of the adults, indeed, I totally agree with you, KTB. If you can see them as human beings, now I am their age when they did that to me, for instance, so I can understand what they're going through. I can understand what may have happened in their mind, and that changes everything. Right? When we're a child, we see our parents like giant gods. They know and they control everything. But if we can look at them through the lenses of compassion and humanity, you may realize, oh, they had their baggage, they had their wounds, and they're just human. And so if we can get there, it means that we have healed. Not everyone can get there because healing is precisely the process of addressing all those parts of us that are emotional and childlike. But if we have healed, then we'll be able to see those things. It's like forgiveness. Forgiveness happens as a result of us having healed. When people say, you must forgive, it's a terrible advice to give because not everyone is in a position to forgive just yet. It's true that eventually the best outcome for anyone would be forgiveness. But there's a time and a place for it. And also forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean forgiving others. It may be forgiving ourselves as to why did I allow these things to happen? Why did I feel shameful? Why did I take it on me when it was always the adult's fault? So yeah, KTB, well done. You have some insight and some understanding of the mind. Fantastic. Are you a therapist yourself, or have you just an interest about those things? Or maybe you've been going through therapy yourself for a long time. I don't know. But yes, very good intervention. And again, I'm coming to the end of the thread, so I'm going to have a sip of coffee. And let me know if there's anything else you'd like to address. If not, what I can do is to read some more posts that I put out on TikTok today and comment on them until I've got some questions. Because every videos live that I do on YouTube, I leave it on YouTube. And so that's the difference between TikTok and YouTube. With TikTok, I go live a couple of nights per week, but not only, I never know when because it depends on my schedule, but also I don't leave the videos there. It's only live and then it disappears. Whereas on YouTube, I always leave it there. So if you ask any question, you can always replay the video. If you go in the live section of my profile, you can see all the lives that I've done up till now. And you can take notes and things like that. Or share with people if you know that some people may make a good use of whatever topic we address. And with YouTube, I always do it on Saturday afternoon. So there is a consistency on YouTube that I haven't got on TikTok. Okay, I have no questions for now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about, no, there's one. Lena Bin. You hit the nail on the head, Didi. Thank you. I've never felt I belonged within family, school, or workplace. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that this meant something to you. I have accepted that I'm not supposed to fit in with them now. I'm trying to seek my own tribe. Yes, so this is the thing. You have been told the lie that you needed to be normal. You needed to fit in with the normal people. And it's wrong. There's no such thing as normal. There's only a system in place, and we are either lucky enough to be born to function in that system or not. And this is why there are no typical and no divergent, for instance. But if we have a problem fitting in, instead of trying to force in, we want to choose better people, right? If you're in the right tribe, they would support you. You wouldn't feel bad about yourself. You wouldn't feel that you have to do something to prove yourself. You wouldn't have to do anything to be seen, to be heard, to be accepted, to feel supported. But if you do, it means that you are in the wrong place. Right? Your tribe should naturally accept you. And basically, when it comes to people, this is what we need. We need to be, so those are our most basic needs. And if we don't get them met, it means that we're not with the right people. We need to feel safe. We need to be seen and heard and accepted. And we need to feel supported with the things that we love. So those are three main things. If you don't get that, you're in the wrong place. Karina Vasquez, why is it so hard to let go of a relationship that isn't getting better? It's because you have expectations. You want things. I want my relationship to get better. I want that person to change. I want luck to come and save us. And basically, we don't accept that we have no input on relationship. Things happen. And when it comes to relationship, it's even more complicated because there are two people involved. And so one person is already very complicated. We have a lot of things going on. We have a lot of baggage. We have a lot of emotional blocks. We have a lot of unhealed wounds from the past. But also they do as well. So now there's more going on. And so what you want to do is to accept that we're all different and your relationships they don't mean anything about you as a person. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong about you. Oh, I'm so unlucky. I always attract bad people. Or why is it always happening to me? Why do we always cheat on me? Or whatever that may happen. Instead, see your relationships as opportunities to learn about yourself as a human being. Every single person that you're going to meet in your life are there to teach you something about yourself, including your romantic relationships. So they're difficult because also the truth of the matter is that in relationships, we repeat what happened to us in childhood. So whatever you have been exposed to, whatever you witnessed, whatever that happened to you has created a sense of self, who you believe you are as a person. And now, because you believe that you are that person all throughout your life, you're going to invite or create or allow situations that that person should live. And so if I believe, for instance, that love is not available to me because maybe your parents didn't love you, or because they were never there, so they didn't love you enough as far as you're concerned, or maybe because they were fighting, or whatever that happened, if you believe that love was not available to you, and you develop a sense of self around this is who I am, love is not available to me, only if, within the conditions. If I do this, if I do that, but still, it may not last. And also, the love that I believe I deserve is tainted with pain and gaslighting and shame or anything like that. Then, what it means is that in the future, as an adult, you're going to naturally be dragged, be attracted, and also create all those situations because you need for your life to match the personality that you have. The person that you think you are. So what it means is if you believe that, for instance, again, love is not available to me, you will only attract people who cannot love you. You may be, so your mind is very clever, it's going to create a lot of systems, going to get you excited about people who are not available emotionally. For instance, maybe you will be attracted by people who are already engaged or married because your mind knows, being with someone is not available to her, and so to them, Karina, to her, and so we're going to make sure that she's only attracted by people who are never going to stay for sure. So we're going to be attracted by players, bad boys or bad girls, and we don't realize this, but we are going to feel very excited about those people, and the ones who are good, who are nice, who are stable, who love us, who seems to be perfect, they're boring. Because the mind doesn't want us to get a chance to be loved, because we believe that love is not available to us. So your mind is trying to protect you based on the sense of self that you have. So again, we don't know each other. All I've got is those 3 lines of words. And so, but just based on that, that's what I would say. It's hard to let go of a relationship that isn't getting better because the idea that you have of yourself, because of you are still expecting for that relationship to get better. Just like probably you're expecting for your parents to behave differently when you were a child. There's an unfinished business here. You have projected your past into your present, and somehow there's a part of you that believes that if I can fix him, it means that it was never my fault then. And so, yeah. Does it explain some aspects of it, Karina? Lena Bin, I accept that I was people-pleasing to fit in, but was still excluded. I didn't follow my career path because of a needy, controlling mum, but as an adult, I see that situation in a different light. Okay, yes. So yes, people-pleasing is a survival mechanism. We need to, it's called phoning, fight, flight, freeze, and phone, number 4. So basically when we people please, we are going along, we say yes. Essentially we're trying to comply. It's like the Stockholm syndrome, a little bit. We're trying to comply and to go along with whatever the person says to limit the damage so that they don't hurt us anymore. And in adulthood, we forget about that, and that becomes how we deal with everyone. We become a people pleaser. We put everyone else's needs ahead of ours, and we suffer from that. But also, the very important things to realize is that when we people please, since it's a system that is born from trauma, what it means is that we don't please people because we want them to be happy. We please others because we want to be safe. So it's coming from a place of fear. So yes, I was people pleasing to fit in, yes. but we're still excluded. So it doesn't necessarily always work. This is the thing. There's a difference between our intent and outcomes. So you may be people pleasing, but some people might find it very irritating that you're always saying yes to everyone. They might think that you are, I don't know how to say that, someone that is very pushover or something like that. And so, yes, your people pleasing based on your past. If you tell me that your mom was very controlling, tells me that it's something that is subconscious. You don't think about people pleasing. You're not thinking, I'm going to please them. It's just something that you can't help doing. It's a survival subconscious mechanism that is automatic. You may think about it afterward and realize I'm a people pleaser, but when you do this, you don't think about it. It's just automatic. Right? And so the fact that people don't like you is other reasons. As I said, there's someone for everyone. People have a different bubble, different expectations, different values, different reasons as to why they may or not like someone. And so it's for you to find the right people. Right? Forget about those people. It doesn't matter. You don't need to change for them. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you change and suddenly they like you. But it takes more work than finding the right people. If you had to only focus on one thing, that is. But you say that now you are seeing things under a different light. So that's a positive, right? Good on you then. Well done. Congratulations. I hope it's a positive, right? What would network? That's why I don't do romantic relationships. Too complicated. I prefer an easier life. So if it works for you, why not? But I want you to know that whatever what we do is always, it's only what works for us now at this point in time. We do change. People change. And very often when we've been hurt or if it's too difficult, we may decide to be on our own. But very often we are in a place where we are finally ready to get back into the game and reconnect with people and see what happens. And so what I'm saying is, if you feel like that, sure, no problem. And for some of us, it's actually not a bad strategy because of whatever may have happened to them. But we want to make sure that we don't create a system where we're thinking, this is like that forever. This is who I am, because we're going to create a sense of self, a personality that can become rigid over time. And because of that, when we're ready to mingle again, we might repress this and we may suffer from that then. And so, we change, we're all different. Maybe at some point in life, you may meet someone with whom it's not going to be complicated at all. It's going to be natural, it's going to be flowing, and just by magic, love and happiness will happen with someone. And so don't assume any certainty into the future about this. That's all I'm trying to say. But having said that, if it works better for you, why not? We don't all have to follow a model of society. There are some people who enjoy being on their own. They live in the middle of the mountain and they're surrounded by bears and birds and deers. They're happy there. Why not? But for the vast majority of us, we do need some connection with people to make the most of who we are as a human being. Karina, thank you. You are on point with every word you said. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Karina. Lifestyle Chav Chat. Hello, Didi. Hello, Lifestyle. Josiah Lawrence. My little sister ended her life in the river recently. I'm sorry to hear that. I had an argument with her a few years ago, the last time we talked, and she didn't know I had forgiven her before she passed. How do you think I can deal with the grief and guilt of not reaching out to her earlier? You can do it now. You can still do it now. You want to change your spiritual belief. We suffer because we believe that the world is like that, and there are some things that I can get in some point and some not. But if you can expand your mind, if you can have a more agile perspective of reality itself, then that can really be helpful. And so now we're talking about spirituality. We want to address what are your spiritual, religious, afterlife kind of belief. And now you're telling me precisely that you believe that you missed out on telling your sister and you feel bad about it. But what I want you to know is that it's just a belief that you can't speak to her, but it's hurting you. Change that belief. It's only a belief. When it comes to the afterlife, no one knows. No one knows. So you might as well choose belief that work for you, right? If you're going to choose the belief that are going to tell you it's over, you're going to suffer. Why would you choose a belief that we just choose that is going to hurt you? Change that. Right? I believe in reincarnation. I believe in the quantum physics, in multiverse. I believe that all realities exist simultaneously and you only experience one. I believe that we are God, we are the universe, we are infinite consciousness. I believe that we come into this existence only to experience the human experience. So for this to happen, we must forget that we are a fragment of God. We must forget before and after. We must believe in life and death. And that's what will provide us with the human experience. You suffering from the grief of your sister is part of your experience. And so now, to make your experience easier, I'd say to you, just think that we come here to experience that, and when we die, we just end up in a different realm, in a different dimension, a different place, and there are some other things happening, right? And we choose to come back, we choose to have different lives, and if you can see things from that, it's easy. You can talk to your sister. You can close your eyes, you can pray, you can meditate, whichever you call it, you can connect with her and say, okay, I know that you listen to me and visualize her looking at you with a smile. She has changed. When we when we transition into the afterlife, we learn from our life. So whatever that she has learned through as a human being, she has processed, and now she remembers everything, and she's looking at you with love, with pride, and she's supporting you, and she's always there, and she has forgiven you, and she knows everything that you feel and think about her and about the past. That's what I would say. Change your belief. A belief is just a belief. No one knows. And so you might as well choose belief that supports you. I do that all the time. I believe in everything. And why not? It doesn't harm anyone and it's good for me. I believe in angels. I believe in ghosts. I believe in aliens. I believe in some people being able to read into the future and read into my mind. I believe in unicorns. I believe in everything. I don't care. If it doesn't hurt anyone, it's okay for me to believe all those things. Now, I don't believe that everyone who do all those things know what they're doing, but I believe that there's some possibilities, and why not? But also understand that we all experience a different reality. There's not one single universal truth and reality. There's only our experience of it, right? And so with that in mind, that kind of reinforces the idea of a quantum realm where we're all only experiencing something unique to us and no one else is experiencing the exact same thing. So what it means is that we can play with the parameters, we can change it by changing the rules of our paradigm, by upgrading our belief. Right? And so yes, I would say for you, go on a journey, on a spiritual awakening journey. Explore different religious belief, explore different spiritual belief. Read books, spend time with people, and see if there's something that makes sense to you. Let go of the cynicism, or let go of the fear, or let go of the conditioning. Because I don't know you, I don't know how you've been raised, what sort of belief system you have. But know, be aware that they're just belief. Right? If you were born and raised in a religious setting, know that your religion is only one out of thousands. There are thousands and thousands of gods and deities in the world. What would make yours better than others? Right? And so the way that I see it is that all religions exist, all religions are true. To them, right? It's just that God or the universe comes in different shapes and forms because it's easier for those people individually to connect with God. Right? But if you don't believe in God, it's also okay. You may believe in science, you may believe in nothing, and so whatever belief that you're born with, you can always change and upgrade them in a ways that makes you feel better about yourself. And so the way that I see it is that it's not that you didn't have a chance to speak to your sister. Your sister knows. She's been there all along. She's been observing you, supporting you, waiting for you to come to the realization that whenever you miss her, whenever you want to speak to her, she's with you. Think about her. If you think about her, she will be with you straight away in your heart. And you can then tell her Tell her that you're sorry. Tell her that maybe you would have done things differently. And you may even hear her telling you it's okay. Through the practice of meditation, a lot of strange things happen. Does it help, Josiah? I'm sorry to hear that. It's not an easy situation for anyone who would go through that indeed. But I hope that something that I said may have inspired you to maybe explore different belief system. Lifestyle Chav. Hello Diti, how are you? I'm very well indeed. How about you? Lifestyle. What would network? Well said. Okay, thank you. Lina Bin, Josiah Lawrence, I'm so sorry for your loss. Indeed. Josiah, thank you. I believe she's with Jesus. I can still talk to her, right? Yes, so there you go. She's with Jesus, right? And she's having a party with Jesus. She's with Jesus and Buddha and Allah and Krishna and Bob Marley, and they're all having a huge party up there. And we're looking down on you with love and understanding and compassion, and everything is fine. I'm not mocking Jesus. I believe in Jesus as well. Right? This is the heart of Christ. But also, I believe in Kali. I believe in Buddha. I believe in, I've got a lot of them. I believe in all of them, like literally. Lina Bin, yes, Didi, I can see that situation and many others from a different perspective. Okay, seeing through adult eyes with experience and empathy instead of a child's eyes that only saw black and white. Yes, indeed. So it's a journey. This is what the journey is about: healing, growth, personal development. All of those things are about us learning how to expand our perspective. Right? As a child, the only perspective. Thank you for that. The only perspective that we have as a child is me, 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 because the child hasn't got enough brain to have perspective. So it's all about everything's happening to me, at me, because of me. I'm the center of the world. Why? But as we grow up as an adult, we are able to see ourselves from the outside. So that's another perspective. But as we expand our spiritual practice, then we can actually understand that we can see also ourselves outside of the realm of the ego or the human being. We can become the observer of ourselves. So now we are changing the game. It's another level altogether, right? And this is the game. The game of life is to expand our perspective as much as we can so that we can make the most of it. The more we can see the bigger picture, the more we can make out of this life. But if we live in fear and trauma and overwhelm and anxiety and depression, we're going to be tunnel vision and we won't be able to experience all of those things. We're going to think, this is who I am, this is what I must be, this is what I must be doing in order to deserve love and attention, otherwise I'm not enough. And we are on that journey of suffering. And the solution to this is through the expansion of our perspective. We're not just a body. We're not just a citizen. We're not just a person. We're not just we're not just a child to our parents. We're not just a sibling to a sibling. We're not just a friend to a friend or a colleague to a colleague. We are also so many. We are energy. We are trillions of cells. We are fragments of stars. And we are so many more to this than that. And if you can really understand and embrace the whole of it, now our problem seems little because in that moment, we are no longer the body. We're no longer the person suffering from our problems, from our pains, from our past. But of course, it's a journey. It's a process. And this is what life is about. Life is the process. Lifestyle. It's Neil Yard's Remedies. Oh, fantastic. I remember you from TikTok. Neil Yard's Remedies from TikTok. Yes, indeed. How are you doing? I still didn't change my name on TikTok. Okay. Well, welcome. Thank you for being on YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see you here. If there was anything you want to talk about, please hit me. Samir, hi from India. Hello, Samir. Samir, I need a quick advice on how to attain more clarity of thoughts, etc. So I need you to be more detailed, please. What do you mean by having more clarity of thoughts? It's a very vague statement. For what? In which context? Generally speaking, if you don't have clarity of thought, it's because you are overthinking, you are trapped in your head. So what you want to do is to practice mindfulness and meditation to learn how to tidy up your system of thinking, right? And so we tend to think a lot because we're just used to that. It's the habit. We're trying to juggle, think about doing many things at the same time. We're trying to multitask, and we cannot multitask. The brain can only do one thing thoroughly at a time, just one. When we are multitasking, we're actually just going back and forth very quickly from different things. So we're actually creating more mess and confusion and stress. So multitasking is never a good idea. So what you want to do is to learn how to zoom in, how to be mindful. Mindfulness is not about stillness. Mindfulness is about awareness. It's about raising an awareness about one thing, one spot. It can be, if you practice meditation, it can be your breath. It can be a thought. It can be a sound. It can be a smell. It can be a feeling, a sensation. Or if you practice mindfulness in your day-to-day daily routine, it can be being mindful on something that you are doing. Like here, I'm being mindful of my cup of coffee. So I can smell it, I can see it, I can feel the way of it. I'm going to drink it, and when I'm going to drink it, I'm going to do this. I can feel everything is going down my throat. The bitterness is kicking the back of my palate. I can have a hit of caffeine now. I can have the tingling. I can feel everything. I'm aware of this. I am mindful. And in that moment, that's all that I thought about. I didn't think about my problems. I didn't think about yesterday. I didn't think about those people. I don't think about the future and my worries. I don't think about anything because I was here in the present. So by practicing mindfulness, you're teaching your mind how to focus more on one thing. Right? Meditation is not about, and mindfulness is not about stillness. It's not about not thinking. It's about zooming into something so precisely that everything else is out of the way. So if you focus just on your breath, you're reconnecting with yourself. And eventually, if you do it for a long time and you are good enough, because you practiced it for a long time, you may be reaching some state where you feel like you're not thinking. And that's the that's the panacea. But you don't have to get there. Meditation is not about getting there. Meditation is about just redirecting the way your brain functions by learning how to focus more and better on one point. So that's what I would say. If you want to have more clarity of thought, practice that. Unless you are talking about something more specific, in which case I need more details about you, Samir. What do you mean by attaining more clarity of thought, etc.? Lifestyle, party with Jesus. Yes. Lifestyle, yes, Didi. What I want to talk about, I have a lot of trapped energy in my throat chakra, and I don't know what to do about this. Something is affecting me very badly every day. I don't know how to deal with. So basically, whatever that we believe is going to create some situations in our body and in our life. And so now you're talking about chakra, and I believe in chakras. I believe that there's a lot of ways to use some old wisdoms, some ancient wisdoms to understand our body, to understand our energy, to understand the fabric of reality. And I love that conversation. However, you're saying just based on what you said, so I could be wrong, but the way that I'm seeing this is I have a trapped energy in my throat chakra, and then there's something that is affecting me very badly every day. How can I say? Uh, I'm going to just go free mic. Yeah, just based on intuition. So I could be wrong again. But what I'm saying, what I'm thinking is that based on what you said, I'm not going to go into that chakra world. But just based on the symbolism that you used, I believe that maybe there's something to do with you not being able to express your truth. Do you find that you can't speak out? Do you find that you're not able to express how you feel? Do you repress your emotions? Do you repress your thought? Do you try to fit in, to be normal, to comply? Because that will tell me why your throat chakra is obstructed. And and it's affecting you. So I also need her heart. Was it you? Does it mean that is this? I believe that it could be that just based on what you said. My intuition is telling me that maybe you want to learn how to speak out your truth. How to let out of what you really want to say. You want to be seen, you want to be loved and accepted for who you are. You want to say things as you feel them, but you're not able. So that's why you have a problem around your throat. Is that correct? Am I going the right direction or not? Samir, thank you. Thank you, Samir. Samir, attaining more clarity of thoughts, I mean how to lessen reaction time as well as how to overcome negativity or get in a good company. So there are many topics in the same sentence. Let's address them one by one. So lessen direction time. Okay, so basically what I guess you're trying to say in that sequence of your sentence is that you want to find a way not to react emotionally to your surrounding and environment. Is that correct? And so thinking clarity of thoughts so that I don't take things personally, so that I don't feel hurt emotionally, so that I don't get angry. Uh, so if that's the case, you do this by addressing specifically what it is that is triggering you. So that is specific. You need to find out what is the pattern, what is the sort of things that is always happening, but you want to change. And when you understand that, you may then next address the belief. What is the belief that is getting me to react to that? Everything that we do is based on some filters that we have about the world and reality and how we perceive ourselves in it. And so by changing that, you are changing your reaction, right? The reaction that we have over the world, over the things that are happening to us in the world, outside or inside, because we can react to our environment, but also we can react to our own thoughts and feelings and sensations in our body. We're designed to react, essentially. And so we have all of those little triggers that I put into place. And we want to find out, why did I put those triggers there? Why did I believe at some point in my childhood that it was important for me to react to the sort of situation in such ways? And so you want to do all sort of work that are specific to each belief and each reaction, right? There's not one main system that will address all of them. Meditation and mindfulness will be the closest thing to it. But if you don't address all of your problems, the main ones, the most important ones, the ones that are really holding you back in your life, sometimes meditation can actually be bad, because what we're going to do, we're going to ignore them. We're trying to meditate away the systems that we have put into place. And that can be harmful in the long term, because now we're not able to address them. We have pushed them so far away and they're still there. The energy is still trapped, trying to get somewhere, but now it's got no way to exit, because we have repressed, we have seared all possibilities for it to express itself. And so it's important. There's a place and a time for everything. Meditation is great, but we don't want to meditate all of our life and all of our problems and all of our parts within us away, right? There's a time and a place for everything, and there's a way to use things. And it's important to address some of the blocks or some of the triggers that we have put into place when we're a child. And so there's a way to use meditation as well. Instead of meditating away, we can use meditation to actually find out, right? In therapy, meditating is also a way to access our subconscious mind and do just that. Allow for the parts within us to speak out, to come out, to express themselves, and to tell us how they feel and what they need us to hear from them. So that was for the first part of the question, Samir, how to lessen reaction time, and how to overcome negativity. So negativity is the same thing. If you are always having negative thoughts, it's because you have a bias, a mental bias that you are put into place. There's a part of you that is trying to protect you from the world because it believes that the world is bad. And so it's constantly reminding you, the world is bad, be careful. People are bad, be careful. And it's creating that narrative. And now, because of that bias, your mind is going to seek out for confirmation of that bias. So basically, your mind doesn't care about the truth. There's no truth. The mind just wants to find anything that is going to support and reinforce your already existing belief, right? And so you want to find out, why do I have that belief? Why do my mind believe that I must be reminded that the world is bad and negative and toxic and dangerous? Because maybe you've been hurt, and so that's why you are always on the lookout for the worst possible things happening to you. So you can change that belief. So self-help, personal development journey, self-discovery journey, healing, if you have anything to heal. This is what healing and growth is all about. But generally speaking, what you could do, unless you have had some heavy trauma in your childhood, and if you have some conditions, unless it is the case, what you can do is to just change your perspective and remind yourself that the world is the world. It's not negative or positive. It's just what it is. Now, how you feel about it is down to where you choose to focus your attention on. And so if I keep on looking at the news that are designed to make us feel terrible, then I will actually, that will confirm that the world is a terrible place. But if I decide not to look at those news, not to talk to those people who are always obsessed with the news, if I decide to maybe, if I go on my algorithm on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, if I only follow people who post videos of kittens and puppies, Now suddenly the world is beautiful. Because now you're going to entertain and feed your mind with different thoughts and that will make you feel better. Whatever that you feel is going to address, it's going to create a reaction that you're going to feel in your body. And so when you choose more empowering thoughts, you experience more empowering feelings. And so, how do you become more positive? By surrounding yourself with people who are positive, by minimizing your exposure to negativity in terms of news, entertainment. When you watch, there's some people who are obsessed with action movie and there's a lot of violence or tension, and we don't realize that when we watch those movies, we are feeling the same. This is the whole point of the movie. We are the mirror neurons in our brain are replicating in our body what they are trying to emulate in the movies. And so every now and then for entertainment is great, but if you are obsessed with that, know that it's actually doing a lot of causing a lot of stress to your nervous system. Uh, and and so choose wisely the things that you're going to entertain your mind with and the people that you're going to chill and spend time with. But that's what I would say in regards to negativity. But if you suffer from depression, seek professional help or do some deeper and more thorough work on your inner self. And finally, the last part of the question, attaining more clarity of thought. I mean, how to lessen reaction time, that's one, as well as how to overcome negativity, that's number two, or get in a good company. So getting in a good company doesn't mean you connecting with right people, as in romantic company. If that's the case, change again. It's a long thing, you know. It's not like one magic hack for sort of things. You want to change how you see yourself in this world. If we find it difficult to find people in our life, it's because we believe that there's something weird about us, or we're not enough, they are out of our league, or something like that. And so you just want to change that. Find a way to address your belief and make this happen, right? I hope it helped. But if you want more, do ask me more. Lifestyle chat. Yeah, but I don't know why I am not able. Let's go back to that conversation. What do you mean? I have a lot of trapped energy. Oh, I don't know why I'm not able. You don't need to know. Your answer may appear. Sometimes we just want to know things. We want to understand things. We need to have it clear. Oh, I gotta know. But sometimes it's not the best strategy, because that need for certainty to know and understand comes from a place of fear. We need to have an illusion of control. If I know, then I'm no longer at the mercy of the universe, of a capricious and unpredictable and hostile universe. And so maybe learn how to surrender. I don't need to know. I'm just going to focus on feeling better. I think there's a little Buddhist parable that goes like this. When you've been bitten by a snake, you can either find a way to get healed, or you can chase the snake and be angry at the snake. Why did you bite me? Right? And this is it. Instead of being angry at the snake, get some help before the poison, the venom gets to us, gets to your heart. And so that could be a very good parable for that. If you have some problems in your life, you can either be angry trying to understand, or you can address the problem directly to save yourself time, energy, and happiness. Does it make sense, lifestyle? Samia, okay, thanks. I got more clarity about things. Also, I know things take time, so it will... ... Okay, thank you, Samir. I'm glad what I get from this is that some of the things that I said were somehow useful to you. Thank you. Another parable, to come back to your lifestyle, like the snake, we could say an archer has hit you with an arrow. You can either get rid of the arrow and seek shelter, or you can be angry at the archer and keep on having more arrows being thrown at you. We do this, again, we do this automatically because this is what we believe we should be doing. But surrendering also means that, we don't need to understand everything. Sometime, very often, the answers to our questions just arrive when we're ready without us pursuing them. Okay, I've been here for nearly 2 hours. I'm going to stay another 10 minutes. I like to stay a couple of hours. I started at 3 o'clock. Today, it's 10 to 5 UK time. And so I'm going to stay around. Hopefully, again, if you want to take advantage of those 10 minutes and ask me anything at all, do so, please. If not, I'll do my best to just share what is in my mind live. Tonight we're changing time in the UK. For those who don't know or who have forgotten, we're losing an hour. So I think when it's midnight, no, when it's 1 o'clock, it's going to be 2 o'clock. Uh, so there you go. Now, the positive thing about it is that it means that we're going to have more daylight over the second part of the afternoon, which is great. And so we're officially springtime, beginning of summer. Happy warm days. Now, there's something that I want to say about this. Apparently, I found out that in springtime, there's a peak of people committing suicide, unaliving themselves. And, uh, and, um, and this goes contrary to the belief that it happens more during winter time. And I always believe that. I always believe that it was more during winter time. But apparently, according to data, people are unaliving themselves more during springtime, at the beginning of the spring, than throughout winter time. And so I think it's important to have that awareness because for many of us, when it's springtime, we are happy. It's warmer, the sun, people are wearing light clothes, people are all flirty and there's a different energy. However, for some of us, it's actually worse because there's a lot of change happening in our body when the temperature and the light is changing. But also, by contrast, when we see that everyone seems to be happy, and we are depressed, it can make actually our depression feel worse. So I think it's very important to have some compassion and to be mindful of that, to keep an eye on the people that we love, right? We don't want to assume that because we're happy, everyone should. That kinds of affect the way we see our environment. But there are still people who are struggling and needing our care and attention. So I don't know, if you're into that sort of mindset like me, making sure that we do our best to look after each other, then bear in mind that indeed, because it's springtime and lovely doesn't mean that everyone is out of the wood. Lina Bin, I want to thank you for your positive feedbacks and I'm truly inspired by your journey. Thank you so much, Lina Bin. Sending love and thanks. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I appreciate. So you must know a bit about me if you know about my journey. Maybe you saw some of my life before when I talked about it. And so yes, just like so many of us, I had a very tremendously difficult start in childhood and teenagehood and my young adulthood. And so for the first 38 years of my life, I was a very different person. And I've been through all sort of things. And I have all sort of conditions because of that. But I am the testimony amongst many others that we can all absolutely change, no matter what happened to us in childhood, no matter what condition we had, no matter what we've done, no matter what others have done to us. We can all absolutely change. And this is what I always say, everything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed, nor promised, but everything is possible. And when we are down in the gutter and we have been like that forever, it feels like nothing's ever going to change because we feel that we've always felt like that. Why would anything change? But this is only a part of our experience. Again, now back to the spiritual perspective, we're here to experience a human experience. And so all those things that are bad, they are there for us to experience as in overcome. Not all of us will, but the vast majority of us, I believe, will get better all throughout their life in some ways, capacity and level of amplitude. So yes. Thank you, Lina Bin. Anyone else? I'm looking at the clock. 6 minutes. It's amazing how time can feel different depending on the situation. Because I'm trying to keep the conversation flowing. To me, a minute seems like going on forever if there's no interaction with anyone. But as soon as someone asks me something, bang, I can speak about something for 10 minutes without realizing that it was 10 minutes. And this is the funny thing about time. Time stretches depending on our state of mind. And so what it means, now let me say something positive about it. What I'm trying to say is that regardless of our age, it means that we still have an awful lot of time. Our life is made of time. And so if we can learn how to be mindful, then we can really, really stretch time to nearly infinite, even if we feel that we are of a certain age. And I think it's actually a natural process. I think that for the vast majority of us, as we get older, because we have more opportunities to reflect on ourselves. You know, when we're young, we are going out, we want to find out about the world, our place in the world, what we can do. But as we get older, we've done that, and now we have a different perspective. And so it's easier for us to chill and to maybe learn how to slow down time and to appreciate more of it through the practice of mindfulness. Have Starvey, do you have any advice on getting going after a big setback? Give me more details, please. What do you mean by that? I don't understand yet what you mean. Because there could be any type of setback. Do you have any advice on getting going after a big setback? What are we talking about? I can try to come up with something, a very general answer, based on that very general question. So it's just a perspective. But if you want me to give you a specific advice, you've got to be more specific, please. However, I'm going to still try to give you something out of this. Right? So setback, what is a setback? Something didn't go your way, right? You projected, you wanted to do something, you've been doing something for a long time, and you've always been getting better and better. And for whatever reason, now you are going back. Is that what you mean? No, you have more details now. I developed chronic long-term pain in my leg, so it's a bit of a mobility issues. Getting very restless. All right, okay. So there are many different ways to look at it. First, of course, you want to find out more options, more perspective, more ways to address your problem. Right? So the things that I would say within that space is to realize that whatever is happening to you physically has got some connection with your emotional and mental state. Things that happened to you in the past, anything that is repressed, any unresolved conflict from the past may have developed into some conditions in your very body. Right? I've addressed people with restless leg syndromes, and it was all to do with their childhood and all sorts of conditions. It's always very, very much connected. So if you don't do this, I would say explore those avenues and add it into all the other things that you do already to address your leg pain. Now, aside from this is one thing important, but let's move on from that. The other thing that you can do is to change how you feel and how you think about your life. Reset. Realize that you have this now and your life is going to be different. And so what I'm trying to say is, whenever you have a thought in your mind, you have three solutions. You can either try to do something about it, or you can accept it, or you can suffer from that thought. And so very often we are not happy with something because we're expecting something. We keep on expecting. Why is it not happening? I want this, I want this, I want this. But we don't realize that sometimes we can't have what we want. And so if you can do something about it, do it. If you cannot do something about it, accept it. Reset. That's my lot. So now, with that, what can I do? Instead of expecting things that are no longer available to you, at least in this moment. If you don't take action or accept it, you will suffer from it. So practice acceptance and practice expanding your mind, expanding your mindset. Learn how to have a growth mindset. How can I learn? What can I learn? How can I make it better? What are the things that I can explore? I want to fix my leg. I want to get better. I want to get not better. I want to get as good as I can. All right? As good as I can is better than getting worse. So, and I'm talking from a place of knowledge. I have a lot of conditions as well, and I have practiced that on myself. I've got a lot of setbacks, like something to do with my legs, actually, with my knees and my lower back, and that was a huge thing for me as well. But I am obsessed because of my mindset that I've developed over the years. I want to find out what is the problem. I had a lot of problems in my body, and I've seen a lot of specialists, and they never could find out anything. But because of my persistence, I found out. I had some IBS and psoriasis, a lot of problems like that. And for years, I've seen all the specialists. I went to all the hospital, did all the tests, the biopsies, the scans, the blood tests, all those things. Nothing helped. But I found out what it was because I kept on thinking out of the box, and eventually it's all gone now. And now I have a new problem: legs, my knees, and my lower back. And same thing. I saw a lot of physios, a lot of senior advanced physios, a lot of X-rays and all those things. No one knows. Now I'm starting to find out because I have that mindset. I am obsessed. I want to find out. I understand that our body changes all the time, and so it's about us expanding the understanding that we have of ourselves and our health and our body and how everything impacts everything, and eventually understand and heal. And so I'd say learn how to practice acceptance and patience, and learn how to expand your mindset so that you have that sort of growth mindset like I do, and that will help you not only feel better in the moment, but also potentially even address your problem altogether at some point. Does it help, Steve? Heave. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm going to say Heave. I am enjoying the self-improvement path. Okay, fantastic. Including your videos. Thank you so much, Heave. Good advice. Keep obsessed and passionate. All right. Okay, so something was good. Thank you. Christine, can you talk about unhealthy environment at work? It's a big topic, though. Okay. Sometimes it's people that doesn't treat you well, and just changing the job doesn't always fix the problem. Okay. So if changing the job doesn't fix the problem, it means that the problem lies within something inside of you. So we're not talking about guilt or shame. I don't do guilt or shame. It's about understanding what is the discrepancy, what is the thing that doesn't work. And so, number one, of course, you want to be in a better place. Number two, you want to find out why it's so hard for you to not connect with people. But I think it's going to come back to the same thing. Do you believe that you are somehow neurodivergent? Do you have some unhealed wound traumas from the past? Do you behave in different ways? Because this is the thing. There's a tribe, there's a place, there's a community for everyone. And very often when we have some baggage from the past, the way we behave, the way we read the environment, the way we feel about ourselves, the way we sound, the way we talk, the way we move, is going to be different. And people who don't get this, they're going to cause trouble. They're going to maybe bully you, they maybe ignore your needs, and it's going to create a lot of problems. And so we are back to that place. Change job. Find the right people who get you, who understand you, who accept you, and who see not only your limitations, as in the way you communicate with people is different. So, but also your qualities. Because if you have this, you have something else, right? People who find it difficult to communicate with others, they have other qualities that are very, very special in any companies, right? So yes, if you are in an unhealthy environment, I will urge you to get out of it and learn how to know who you are so that you can find the people who would accept that you are. Sometimes it's people that doesn't treat you well, yes, and just changing the job doesn't always fix the problem. Well, it doesn't fix the problem until you find the right people, right? If you keep on adding it in some snake pit, of course it's not going to fix the problem. But we're trying to change society as a whole through educating people about mental health. But there are people out there. It's for you to find out. There's more and more companies and people who are kind and intelligent and open-minded and educated about mental health. I used to use an office facility called WeWork, a couple of places in London. And there's a lot of companies like that. I spoke to so many people who have their own little companies, and they're all about compassion and understanding. And if you go at the canteen in the public place, you can see there's always a bunch of people who are obviously on the autism spectrum together, gathering. And they have their community where together and they belong and they're happy in their own way and they function and they're appreciated and they're not being pressurized by the company anyway at all because they understand them and they are thriving together. And so I don't know. I'm not saying that you are autistic. You could be having other things. But do you believe that you have any condition at all? Um, you could also have things like borderline personality disorder. Do you think that people are bad? Do you think a lot about those sort of things? Um, do you fixate on people? It can be so many things. But I saw some little heart, so I like to assume that it was you, that you appreciated some of the things that I said. Heart, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go slowly. If you ask me any question, I will stay and answer all of them. But I'm going to gently make my way out, if not. Um, for those who don't know me, I'm a therapist and coach. And I spend some of my free time online to spread some love out there. And so I go live on TikTok twice a week, generally in the evening, UK time. And I'd never really know when because it all depends on my schedule, my level of energy, my mood. And the videos that I put there, when I go live on TikTok, it doesn't stay. It's only when it happens. On YouTube, however, like today, I could always come here at the same time. So at the moment, I've chosen 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, UK time. So from tomorrow, it's going to be not GMT, but BST, British Summer Time. And the difference also is that on YouTube, I leave the videos for everyone to replay and watch if they want to. Right? So if anyone asks me anything, they can go back into the questions and the answers and write notes, perhaps. And so that's the difference. And so aside of that, I post 3 short videos every day, both on TikTok and on YouTube. And that's slightly different because there's a time delay. So I did it on purpose so that people have something slightly different from a platform to another. And so if you have any questions, any comments, you can tell me on my post or now on that live, or you can write them down and bring it back next time that I go live. If you believe that there's any of your friends that could benefit from my help, please bring them along. I'm genuinely doing this because I can. And so, we might as well make the most of this. Everything helps. A lot of people have problems here and they don't know how to get started, or they believe that I can't afford professional help. But there are always other ways to find solutions and solace from whatever is causing problems in our life. And so, yes. So I just checked. There's no other new comments, so it's time for me to go. I'm going to wish you a great day or evening, wherever that you are in the world. I love you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching if you're replaying this. And hopefully I see you on my next live, wherever that may be. And that's it. Look after yourself. And remember to be kind to yourself. Okay, so I press here. I always forget. Okay, that's it. Okay, bye-bye. Bye, everyone.